Yeah, we got it right there.
Okay. All right, we're coming live from Occupy City Hall in Rockford, Illinois. We've been saying for the past I've been saying for the past at least 3 or 4 days, maybe actually for the past 4 or 5 days. Last week was a very crazy week, but one of the things that I have been saying is that we're going to do our best to continue to have content coming out on the social media platforms, whether that be through podcasts coming out, whether that be through lives on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, doing our best to continue making a post on Facebook to inform people about some of the things that's going on currently in Rockford, Illinois, and some of the things that have went on in the past. And so today we're going to have, I'm going to have a discussion with another person who I would say is a member of the May 30th Alliance. I would describe you want to push that mic up? Make sure you're talking to that mic for me.
Yeah, I'll say.
Okay, and then let us know how his mic sounds. Anybody that may be watching this, you want to talk into it real quick? Just introduce yourself.
I just wanted to say, just let me know how the microphone is sounding on your on the May 30th live, and then on my live as well. Because like I said, we got 2 lives going at the same time.
And you want to go ahead, just introduce yourself to people?
My name is Brendan Rabbit. Most of the people around me call me just refer to me as my last name is Rabbit.
I have to push that mic up. So.
Sorry. I'm not able to be outside as much as I'd like to be because I gotta work during the week, but I'm usually able to consistently share what's going on with Occupy Rockford at the same time. And one thing is, like, some of you guys, if you guys share, if you guys follow the May 30th page, is a lot of the things that oh, it's low.
Yeah, maybe try to move that speaker right there. All right, we're gonna have Rabbit. Rabbit gonna move this speaker. We testing out, trying to have multiple people. We would have the phone set up, but the police came and grabbed some of the. But yeah, you gonna have to like move it like all the way, bring it all the way towards us. And then you gonna just sit the mic down, yeah.
Put it in my lap real quick.
And I just want to say Happy Mother's Day. You can't hear really. Okay, let me see. My mic might be messed up. What about me? Can you hear me? What is it, or is it just him? I think it's just him.
Yeah, I think it's just me.
Okay, yeah, and Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there that may be watching this too. All right, yeah. All right, man, move that. Yeah, go ahead. You might just have to sit your phone down for a second.
All right, wait. I got the speaker. If I got the speaker right here, I can. And then there we go. Yeah, they say we can hear about.
We trying to get on, but this one, we trying to get this one back right. Okay, it looks like.
All right.
There we go. Yeah.
There we go. Let me just reintroduce.
You can hear? Okay. All right. Everybody, people saying that they can hear now. I think we got it. I think we good. Yeah. Okay. So oh yeah, it was just him. Okay, that's good. Okay. So now I think we got things situated. So. As Rabbit, since you're somebody who hasn't been here throughout the week, me and Rabbit haven't really talked about some of the things that went on this past week. What's some of your thoughts about some of the things that went on, and what things did you see from the outside looking in?
I mean, from what I saw is the
Mic close.
From what I saw was the ability of the city of Rockford government, and in particular the mayor Tom McNamara, was able to have a press conference about the opening of City Market next month, and not even next month, in 2 weeks, but wasn't able to have a discussion or a press conference when Tyrus Jones was shot, when Jose Gonzalez Jr. was shot, when Faustin Goitigo was murdered in his own home, and when Denzel Duvant was beaten half to death by 7 officers as he attempted to surrender. Yet, anytime that there's an opportunity to make more money in the city of Rockford, he's quick and he's ready to go to talk and answer questions from the press. It's almost as if he's trying to push it under the rug about the real issues that are going on in the city of Rockford. And as something I saw yesterday about how the city has a campaign to reinvent itself socially in an attempt to attract more people to the city of Rockford. And over the course of 2 years, they've spent $175,000 on it, which you do the math on it, that comes out to about $6,000 a month. Now, that $6,000 a month can be used to actually improve conditions in the city of Rockford, as opposed to just tricking people into coming into Rockford to spending their money, and then once they get there, realizing that aside from a few set areas on the east side, there's really not much else that the city has to offer to its citizens, and in particular its black and its people of citizens of color as well.
And again, I hate that I got to hold on this camera. It's nuts. We got to get a new. We're gonna try to go back to get. We're gonna try to get our tripod. The tripod that we have been using got stole by the police department on Wednesday morning. They came and did one of the 4 o'clock raids, and you can find a video of them coming here and taking a tripod and doing all of that stuff. You can find those in the videos of the May 30th Alliance page. I want to follow up on some of the things that Rabbit touched on as far as the press conference that the mayor had around City Market and the lack of the press conference when it comes to some of the police terrorism actions that have taken place and some of the more notable police shootings that have taken place. As one of the again, this is a video that can be found on the May 30th Alliance Facebook page, but when they did have that press conference, I was sitting outside of City Hall. I believe I was going through and just on my phone scrolling through Facebook, and I seen the live pop up on my feed that that Tom and multiple city officials were down at City Market having a press conference about City Market. I was at City Hall, which is up the street. One of the reasons that we have chosen to be in this area at this place and to occupy this space for the extended amount of time that we have is because of the amount of things that do take place downtown, because of the amount of things that are connected to downtown. And downtown Rockford is the heart of the city. And so we want to bring these issues to the heart of the city. We want every time events take place connected to downtown for the people who come to those events to have to be reminded about Denzel Duvine and Tyrus Jones and Faustin Guaitigo and and then Jose Gonzalez. I'm in the middle of something. I'm live. I'm in the middle of something. Sorry. And so we want people to, anytime that they come down, to have to be reminded of these things. And so in kind, when they had the press conference, instead of being able to just go through and have this press conference without any disruption, without any reminder of what happened last year, they're having this press conference avoiding the topic, avoiding the proverbial elephant in the room, which is the protest that took place at City Market last year. They spoke about the extended footprint and the extended area for City Market this year, and they lied to the public and they lied to the community and lied to the media and to the press and told people that they had that extended area for COVID and to put more vendors, and that is completely false. They had that extended area to try to limit people's freedom of speech, to try to limit the area in which people have the freedom, have the right to assemble. And so as they did all of these things to try to pretend as if these issues not only did not take place last year with police terrorism being enacted on people who went to the City Market protest, but also as if these issues aren't continuing to take place every day, and most notably with Tyrus Jones, Faustin Guaitigo, Jose Gonzalez Jr., and Denzel Duvine. And so I felt it was, as I seen this video pop up on my timeline, I felt obligated to go down there and to not allow for this press conference to go on without awareness being brought to the fact that people remember what happened at City Market last year. People remember that at City Market last year, people came out to protest about police terrorism, and in the months that have followed up, there's been act of police terrorism after act of police terrorism, and and one of the men who sits inside of that room has chosen to be silent about these actions, aside from a few Facebook posts here or there. But he's quick to speak when some type of money is to be made. He's quick to speak when it is to pat the police on the back and to tell the police good job. And he's quick to speak when it is issues that are perceived to be predominantly white or affluent issues. But when it becomes to issues that predominantly affect a different base or a different group, you see the silence and you see the lack of actions and the inability to do anything. Let me go ahead, Rabbit. What do you got to say?
And I want to add to this as well. And Tom McNamara is very notable for being able to speak about issues that happen outside of Rockford, in particular what happened with the George Floyd trial. He said, and I quote,
right there,
progress, like we still have lots of progress to be made. And when I saw that post, I just immediately had to say something. It was like, no, like, your officers come down here 10 deep at 4 o'clock in the morning to steal property, to steal from people who really are not bothering anybody, and the only reason that they are out there is because of your ineffectiveness at controlling your police department. Because you said this on the record after May 30th, I fully support the Rockford Police and Dan O'Shea. And but yet you continuously want to cry about police terrorism that occurs outside the city of Rockford, but want to stay silent about the issues that are facing this city, the city of Rockford itself.
Yeah, and again, that goes sort of back to the idea of him picking and choosing when to have the moral compass. You know, that is one of the things that being an elected official, and specifically being the mayor, that is one of the I guess unwritten things that go with it, is that you should be the moral compass of the city. You should be the one that when it's difficult to speak about something because it may be people who don't agree with it, or because it may make people perceive you differently, but it's the right thing to do and it's the right thing to be spoken of, it becomes incumbent upon people in leadership roles to do those things, to take those chances, to be that moral compass. Because until we get to a place where the people who are in leadership positions speak on some of these issues, there will continue to be a humongous segment of the community who don't know that these issues are even happening, or who will continue to not give credence to these issues. There is a percentage of people who will not believe police terrorism and mass incarceration and racial injustice are truthfully issues in Rockford, Illinois, until the mayor of Rockford, Illinois speak about them. There are people who will not believe that these issues, not that these issues, but that these things happen at the regularity at which they happen, until they see somebody regularly speaking about them every time they happen, just so that way people don't think this is a thing that happens once every now and then. This can't be the type of issue, it's just like COVID-19. COVID-19 showed a lot about the extent at which the government will go to, no matter whether they agreed with COVID-19 or disagree with COVID-19, or whatever their belief pattern was with COVID-19. You've seen daily, weekly, monthly, to a point now annually, where politicians went out of their way to try to push the narrative and to inform people about this disease and this virus, and about the restrictions, and about it's hard to sort of, it's hard to sort of speak about COVID-19 because of the different ways, in Texas, they would have the press conferences on a daily basis to try to get people to think, what up, y'all? To try to get people to think COVID-19 wasn't a thing. In Illinois, they having the daily press conferences to get people to believe COVID-19 is a thing and that it is real and to be addressed. But either way it goes, you've seen that the extent that people will go to the press conferences on a daily basis, the turning different, parts of the city into testing sites and vaccine sites. And if more issues in our society were addressed with the same ferocity and, aggressiveness that COVID-19 was addressed with, we would solve more of these issues quickly, And so I do think that we would be in a better place as a community and closer to fixing these issues as a community if, when Tyrus Jones was shot, the Mayor Tom McNamara had a press conference and spoke about it. When Denzel Duvant was beat, Mayor Tom McNamara had a press conference and spoke about it. When Faustin Guaitigo was murdered in his home, have a good night, Tom McNamara had a press conference and spoke about it. And then when Jose Gonzalez Jr. was shot, the next day that he spoke about it, because then people would understand the gravity of this thing. Even if each time he does, we're not saying he has to push or believe in the same things as us or have the same narrative as us. I think that you get to that place once people are willing to at least engage in a conversation. Right. And he has, not been willing to engage in a conversation. Go ahead.
I want to add to this, especially because, living closer to South Beloit, there are a lot of people that live in Winnebago, outside the city of Rockford, but in Winnebago County, who are completely unaware of the issues that are going on with the police and the police terrorism. Because the number of people I encounter whenever I'm about doing my daily tasks outside the city of Rockford, who I'll have my May, like I'll have a May 30th shirt on, and they'll be like, oh, like isn't that the wasn't that the riot? Like, and then that's all they really know is what the city of Rockford and the Rockford police put out, as opposed to what actually happened. And the fact that like there are so many people outside of the city of Rockford who are completely unaware of what happened to Jose Gonzalez Jr., Faustin Goitigo, Denzel Duvant, and part of the reason why we're out here is we want to bring awareness to the issue, because as Leslie said, in order for real like actual things to happen, people need to become aware and be able to have the discussions about the issues that are partaking to the community that they claim to love and support, but yet continuously choose to stay ignorant about the issues that are facing this community.
Yeah, and again, I think that's a very pertinent thing to bring up too, is how people in the surrounding areas that are close to Rockford don't know about these things happening either. And so that lets you know too, if they don't know about, if people in Belvedere don't know about the things that are taking place in Rockford when it comes to police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice, it's very unlikely that the people in Rockford know about what's going on in Belvedere. And then you even get to a place where, you have to start wondering how many small cities even know about even communicate, the
Right.
things that are going on. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
It's like, and especially as somebody who has like not only just like connections in and around Rockford, but around the country and around the world. There are a lot of people who I've made aware about some of the situations at hand, and they're like, it's crazy to say that there's more support for what's going on with Occupy Rockford in the city market protest outside of Rockford than there are in the city of Rockford. And in order for things to really actually like be able to change, it's like we have to be able to bring the awareness to Rockford, as opposed to like not just the narrative that the news and the police put out, but just like be able to show people this is what's actually happening. Like there's like the footage of all these different events is available all over on the internet, and like the information is right at your tips, but the city and Winnebago County do not want people to be able to have those discussions, whether it be in their household or at the water cooler or at their jobs, and they just don't want people to have those discussions because it'll force the city to have to hold itself accountable for some of the actions that they allowed their police department to take part in.
Yeah, I think that and also that sort of I would want to try to keep the conversation fluid and the discussion fluid, and one of the things we want to do is try to not, as often as we want to continue to touch on things that we've spoken about before, so that way anybody who may have not, who may be tuning in for the first time can be brought up to speed in whichever manner that's possible. Also, too, want to sort of address things that as they happen in real time, whether they be with the community or nationally or locally or within I guess protesting circles. So I guess one of the things, as I was listening to you speak right there in Rapid, that I thought about is when you were talking about the importance of the footage and getting people to see the footage to understand that these things are going on. You showed me, we won't get into, saying any specifics or nothing like that, but we want to make sure that we are always engaging in transparency, and not just engaging in transparency, but having conversations openly. Because I don't believe that it's one way to skin a cat. I don't believe anybody has the absolute on tactics or ideology or anything like that. So it was a post going around where people were speaking about their disagreement with, I guess I would say, the We Demand docuseries that has been coming out, and some of the video footage in the We Demand docuseries that's coming out. And I don't like to go into Facebook comments and go back and forth with people with Facebook comments. I purposefully, just in general, I believe that if somebody makes a Facebook post that you don't agree with, the most backwards thing to do is to comment on the post, because then it makes more people see the post. And if you don't agree with what is on the post, I would think you would want less people to see the post. So the best thing to do is actually just keep it pushing away from the post. that's a tip for the day for people who don't know how algorithms work. Luckily for us, a lot of racist people and ignorant people don't know how algorithms work, so they leave comments on some of these posts and engage in these posts, and it gets more people to see them. But again, I don't do that for that specific reason, and so I did not agree with the post that was sort of basically saying that I understood the sentiment of the post, where it was somebody who felt as if the trauma in the videos was the things captured in the videos was causing them to relive trauma, and was putting them in a very specific situation. And I have 100% respect for that and empathy for that. But also, this video footage are things that was filmed in real time as they were happening last year. Multiple news stations filmed these things. Multiple independent journalists came out and filmed these things. So these weren't things done in private. These were things that were done in public. In the midst of these things being done, multiple people shared the videos the next day after they would happen. One of the things that routinely would happen was people would have things take place to them on Friday at the hands of the police department or at the hands of white vigilantes, and then on Saturday and Sunday and Monday and the weeks following, people would try to share it to raise awareness to these things taking place and to these things happening. And to even draw back even further, and this was something that we communicated as often as possible at the May 30th Alliance, and we'll continue to communicate going forward in the future. And if that means that certain people are not involved with the demonstrations or not involved with the protest, that's something that not only do we understand, but I think it's for the best if people feel like it's not the ideology or the tactics aren't conducive with, for them. But we want these things to be filmed. We want these things to be seen. We want the public to know that Dominic McNeese was out at City Market falsely arresting people, violating people's constitutional rights, and at City Market we were out there screaming and protesting that these police officers had no type of accountability, they had no type of restraint, and that if they weren't put on, and that we were dramatizing what happened on May 30th. On May 30th, it was put on display for the entire world that the Rockford Police Department has no control, that they have no accountability, that they have they have no true de-escalation tactics or training, and every issue that may be all the issues that people are talking about police terrorism around the nation, that Rockford is a microcosm of those things. And that was put on a full display on May 30th. And then the City Market protests were to dramatize and raise awareness to what happened on May 30th, to try to get justice for those people on May 30th, to let those people on May 30th know that they weren't alone, and that we understood the things that they were going through, and that we were not going to allow the things that they went through to be swept under the rug. Exactly. And so it would be counteractive to trying to not have it be swept under the rug if we never show people these things again, if we never let people see these things again. Let this truck go by. I believe that we are in the very beginning processes of change taking place, not only locally but nationally, and I believe that Rockford is going to be a very pivotal piece in the things that are going to take place in the future. And I believe that all the sacrifices and all the things that people have done since May 30th, actually all the things that people have done even before leading up to May 30th, and then on May 30th, and then since May 30th, will all be a piece of not only Rockford history but American history, and then and world history. And so history cannot be put into the closet, so to speak, or in the shadows. History is not written in the shadows. History is, written in the light, and so I think that I don't put the We Demand docuseries together. I don't create the We Demand videos. I try my best to not even see them beforehand because I enjoy watching them when they, I shouldn't say enjoy, but I think the process of watching them for me has been it's been traumatizing. It's times where I can't watch them all the way through. It's times where I've cried in the midst of watching some of them. But they've been very important because I see how many people have seen these things that did not know these things happened and took place. And I know that there's even more to come for that. And that's sort of my opinion on some of the things that were stated in that post. That's sort of my opinion and my ideology, and the May 30th, some of the May 30th ideology when it comes to the demonstrations and to the protests. I do believe that demonstrations and protests and direct actions can be done to raise awareness to an issue. I do believe that in the midst of raising awareness to an issue, that you can then engage with people and inform them and educate them about the issue. I do believe that through that education, you can start to wage sort of mini revolution in cities based off of those things. And I say revolution because I don't believe in reform. I don't believe the things that we are doing is to show people that we need to reform the police department. I believe the things that we are doing are showing people that needs to be a revolution around the institution of policing, abolition of the institution of policing, and a creation in the midst, because I don't believe that you can any revolution just consist of destruction or destroying. You know, I believe you have to create in the midst of doing those things. And so I believe that in the midst of this happening, we will see people come forward and start creating different avenues and creating different programs within the city of Rockford and Winnebago County that can start replacing some of these arms of policing and some of these branches or you know, things of policing. So I'll let you go ahead, and I spoke on how I felt about the whole thing. I'll let you speak on it.
I mean, because like I wanted to add on what you just said right there about changing like the institutions of policing, and this is a quote I saw over the summer, and it really kind of stuck with me. It was the idea that strong communities prevent the need of policing, and especially as somebody who lives close, like, as I said earlier, lives closer to South Beloit, where I live, there isn't nearly as much crime as the city of Rockford is partake, and the reason why is because these communities have more resources to offer its citizens, and instead of bringing in more police officers, which only creates more violence in the community, why not give the idea of more resources to prevent the need of crime in the first place? Because that's like the idea of putting policing, and especially when I've seen policing up there and I see policing down here, it's two different concepts. The policing in Rockford is more of an occupational force, because when you look at the differences between District 1, District 2, and District 3, it's a much more militant form of policing on the in Districts 1 and 2 compared to where District 3 is, which is predominantly commercial area. There's you don't see anywhere near as many police, and whereas as you go west of the river, there's police everywhere, and not just Rockford police. You see state police, Winnebago County sheriffs, and it's almost as if it's almost an occupational, and like, I don't know how I'm trying to figure out how to word it. It's just like when you hear the sirens out on the west of the river, it's almost as if like kind of a scare tactic is an attempt to get people to just go back inside, and just to kind of enforce the idea of that the police are here to protect property and not protect the people. Because at least in my experiences of like some of the testimonies I've heard from citizens, from people who come down to City Hall, it seems to be that a lot of the people who have experienced the worst of police terrorism seem to be coming from the west of the river, and it hurts me to see to hear some of the things that these individuals have to go through, not just on a one-time basis, but on an everyday basis, because it does not stop. Because every day it's somebody else is being terrorized by the police department in this city, and that not everybody gets the what's going on. And like as Leslie said, the goal is to just bring awareness to some of the issues that are facing the city of Rockford. And not just with the police, but just with the economic repression as well that creates the criminal activity that our city is unfortunately known for. And to bring up in particular in regards to like the We Demand, I'm not gonna lie, I had to take a break from watching that, because it is very traumatizing to watch. It's not one of those things where I can just sit there with a bag of popcorn and enjoy. It's just like, no, this is not something I want to watch, but at the same time, it's just like it brings awareness to some of the things that happen, not just on May 30th, but over the summer at City Market, and what has happened over at during Occupy Rockford. Same thing with some of you guys may know I'm a little bit of an independent journalist myself, and like when I look back at some of the images that I've taken in regards to some of the actions being done by the Rockford Police Department, it's very hurtful. It's very hurtful for me to have to relive. But at the same time, I understand why a lot of people may have the triggers about some of the things that have been seen and that have been documented, and it's completely understandable if some people don't want to see those things. But I'm trying to think of how to finish it off. You know what I mean? Like, but like.
No, I mean, I know what you're saying. I think all of us, not all of us, but I think that is a very, it was 50 people, I believe, in 2020 who were arrested, revolving around protests. And again, I'm sure that certain people don't ever want some of those videos to be seen or pictures to be seen by people again. Unfortunately, the same way we have a freedom of speech, there is a freedom. I don't know. I'm not going to say unfortunately, because I don't believe in that it's unfortunate. Right. But there is a freedom of press, the same way that there is a freedom of speech. And these things were already documented. I could understand if maybe the We Demand docuseries was the only place that these things could be found at, or I could understand if the We Demand docuseries had was putting together this and trying to paint these things in a negative type of light or something like that. But as it stands, I honestly believe that the We Demand docuseries will be a very strong instrument in getting awareness to these issues. And again, like I said, one of the intentions and one of the goals for the May 30th Alliance is to raise awareness. One of my main goals as a community activist is to raise awareness. I not only encourage other people and I applaud other people who take different avenues, and I think we need more people taking different avenues with the same type of aggressiveness and determination and grit in which we've decided to do the occupation. I hope, and I know that there are some people doing that in different avenues, and I hope people continue to do that, and I hope that more people do those things. I believe that one of the other important reasons for raising awareness is that there are young people who are being I don't know if I want to use the word radicalized, but I'll use the word radicalized. There's young people who are being radicalized, and I think that it's a beautiful thing. I think that I've undergone a year of I thought that was the police. I thought that was the police. I was like, here we go. I was like, here we go.
All right, man.
I was like, oh man, they gonna.
All right, yeah, we good.
But anyways. But I think that I think it's a beautiful thing. I think institutionalization is a negative thing. I hope that it's a whole bunch of young black and brown boys and girls that's watching these videos, watching these the docuseries, that's gonna listen to the podcast, come out to these protests, and it's going to make them think twice about the things that they hear in history class, and to think twice about the things that they learn in middle school and high school, and then when they go off to college. And I think that's going to make them. I think that the Rockford will be in better hands because of that. I think Winnebago County will be in better hands because of that. I think that Illinois and America as a whole will be in better hands because of that. I think that, so I want these young people to see these things. I want my young son to be able to see these things in the future. I want my young cousins to be able to see these things. I want some of the young people that I've seen out at some of the other protests to maybe they, of course, they can't be at all of the different things or be at everything. I want them to be able to go back and see these things, and then I want us to articulate it. I can understand if these demonstrations and these protests were taking place and we weren't doing any articulating of the issues, we weren't trying to do any educating or informing of the issues, and it was just trauma, and it was just these flashpoints of violence, and that was it. But as it stands, we do everything that we can do on a regular basis to inform people. We do more writing than we do protesting. We do more talking and having more discussions than we do demonstrations. And so I do believe that the demonstrations must continue to take place. I do believe that they must continue to be filmed and continue to be shown to not only other people in the city, but other people in the state and in the region, and then the nation and the world. And, right. I guess one of the things that we want to try to start doing on here too is broadening some of our conversation pieces and trying to really touch on to intersectionality. So. We'll wrap this up here in a little bit, but let's speak about Columbia. That's one of the things that has been out here. We're out here at Occupy City Hall. Let me just let everybody see. We out here at Occupy City Hall, day 218.
Yeah, 218.
Day 218. I'm out here with Rabbit. Another member of Brendan Rabbit, another member of Rabbit. Oh, my fault. I don't mean to. I don't want to say. I don't mean to say your government.
Only people at work. Come on. I've been there. Unfortunately, they kidnapped me. They kidnapped me over the summer. So everybody already has my government.
So I gotta use the mic. Use that mic.
Oh yeah, so everybody's already know my government name because the sheriff's department kidnapped me over the summer at the Back to Blue rally.
Okay, so so me and Rabbit, both members of the May 30th Alliance. We just out here at the occupation, having a discussion. We want to as we get through the spring, go through the spring and into the summer, we want to continue to put content up onto the different social media pages. We want to continue to have lives, continue to have conversations and discussions. We want to encourage other people from the community to come out and listen as the discussions take place, to partake in the discussions. And so before we wrap this one up, one of the things the reason I wanted to point out again why we were at is because one of the things that has been a constant at City Hall at the occupation is people coming out and speaking about some of the more some things that are maybe going on outside of the city that are interrelated to these issues of protest and demonstrations. And so I wanted to ask Rabbit about Columbia. That's one of the things that has been a conversation I've had with a few other people, the protests that have been taking place in Columbia and some of the response from the government out there in Columbia. So, Rabbit, what were some of your thoughts about that?
I mean, my thoughts about Columbia is and especially because I know a lot of people I grew up with are from Columbia or have family still in Columbia. And to some of you that may be relative still unaware, within I would say the last 2 weeks, there's been major demonstrations against the government in Colombia and the police. I believe in particular in the cities of Bogota and Cali. I believe almost 20 people have been murdered by the police and the paramilitary forces in the city of in Colombia while reaching out, and it's to the point where. Very prominent individuals from Colombia, for example, the singer J Balvin has been reaching out and bringing public awareness to a worldwide platform about the issues that are facing Colombia, and it's some of the same. I see similarities to what's going on with Rockford, but I see at the same time I see more of an far higher an escalation tactics of what the police in Colombia are doing as well. And then something else that's been happening within the last week or so has been what's going on with the Palestinians. And in particular, what happened at Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem, in which they shot tear gas into the masjid while individuals were praying. And this is during the holy month of Ramadan, which in particular many people are focused on their prayer, more focused on prayer, and in attempting to get closer to Allah, and at the same time the military forces are arresting
are arresting not just adults, but they're arresting children as well, and Palestinian children, in an attempt to suppress it. And many individuals who, on an international scale, consider what is going on in Palestine to be a modern form of apartheid and genocide as well, and it's something that like a lot of people don't really talk about, because everybody's they only get the point of view of what the Israelis are saying, because there are not a lot of countries in the world that have displayed their support for the Palestinian people. I believe it's only a few countries in Europe, and then most of Latin America has displayed their support for Palestine. But the same issues, like some of the same issues that are going on, is just because it's not just a thing about Rockford. It's a worldwide issue with the police and the need of what the occupational terrorism that they partake in towards unarmed people who are merely just trying to exercise who they are as individuals, as opposed to just being suppressed into the ground, as previous years have shown us, and attempt to just I was going to say, like, it's just trying to bring the light into what's really going on, not just at Rockford, but just in the world as well, and try to have the discussions about like worldly events as well.
And I think that I'm happy that Rabbit was here to bring that up. I think that again, one of the things we want to, as we continue to have these conversations, continue to create content, we want what it is that we want to do at the May 30th Alliance with this occupation in City Hall is we have. Let me try to rewind this back a little bit. What we have done is we have built a platform with the occupation of City Hall, with the May 30th Alliance, with some of with the protest at City Market, the protest at the food truck Tuesdays, the things that took place on May 30th. We have built a platform, and now with that platform, we want to create avenues and opportunities for people to become informed and educated about things that they otherwise would not have been able to become informed and educated about, whether it be because it was not something that was brought to their awareness or to their consciousness, or whether it be because it was something that was being purposely repressed from them being able to pay attention to. And so as we do that, we don't want to just only speak about Rockford, but we want to show the interrelatedness that Rockford has with Chicago, and then that what Rockford and Chicago have to all the other things and all the other places in Illinois, and then Illinois to the Midwest, and then the Midwest to the West Coast and America in general, and then using that same concept with America and then to other nations, and then that stretches back for just as far as me and Rabbit, to a very different individuals speaking here. The only way for us to understand the way that we are connected is for us to dive deeper into the way that we are different, in the ways we are different. And so as we sit here and we tell our different perspectives with respect for each other's perspectives and with respect for each other's experiences, and we view these things from different vantage points, and we try to communicate those vantage points to people, again, we approach that interrelatedness, and that is what we want to continue to encourage. And so I think that to end this with bringing up Palestine, and to end this with bringing up what was going on in Colombia is important, because that is where we find, I believe that is where we find a deeper understanding about how true these issues are, or how the gravity of these issues, the fact that, sometimes when you're just going through something by yourself, you don't really understand how deep the thing you're going through is, or how I don't know the exact word I'm looking for, but there's power in finding out that that other people are going through the same things that you're going through. Is power in finding out the ways that they're dealing with those things, the ways that they're combating those things. And so when we look over and we see that it's not just a fight that we're having in Rockford, but it's a fight that's a struggle that's happening in Chicago. It's a struggle that's happening in Colombia. It's a struggle that's happening in Palestine, and that these places are continuing to struggle through all the things that they're going through. It reminds us that there are other people out there, as a beacon of a reason to continue to struggle. And then it also reminds us that we are somebody's beacon. You know, Rockford will be somebody's Palestine. Rockford will be somebody's Columbia. And so I haven't, unfortunately, looked into the things that are going on in Colombia and Palestine at this very moment. As much as I would like, I did look into and see the protests that were going on in Colombia and see that people have been killed. This has been a crazy week for us here in Rockford as well. But I'm happy that we have somebody here to bring that up and to speak to that in some sense. And so I don't have anything else to say. I think that anybody, too, let me just bring this up. Anybody who is looking to, anybody who's looking to maybe learn some new thing or beginner's introduction to Palestine or the things going on in Palestine, or just into intersectionality, which is sort of what this last section has been about. Find the book Freedom is a Constant Struggle by Angela Davis. It's an amazing read. It was one of the things that was on our reading list that we will get back to. And so please read that. That will sort of inform you a lot about Palestine, you know, some beginning steps about Palestine and intersectionality. Rabbit, do you got anything you want to say before I say our last little May 30th Alliance promo things to end it?
I mean, the only things I really want to say is the three things. Well, a couple of things. One, justice for May 30th and justice for justice for all the protesters in the 815. Free Palestine and Libera la gente de Colombia. That's really all I was about. And for my non-Spanish speakers, that's free the people of Colombia. Okay,
that's good. That's a good way to end it. And then I want to say justice for Faustin Guaitigo, justice for Jose Gonzalez Jr. There's a litany, a long list of names of people who need justice out here. Unfortunately, since these are the two that are the most recent, we're going to try to keep hammering that into people's heads. Please continue to go into the comments and hashtag justice for Faustin, justice for Jose, hashtag Faustin Guaitigo, hashtag Jose Gonzalez. If you have any of the screenshots that you see us sharing or the graphics you see us sharing in those comments, please continue to share those. Any posts you see from the May 30th Alliance, please continue to not just share but comment and then like or react in some type of way. We want to keep engagement up. Please follow us at May 30th Alliance on Twitter, May 30th Alliance on Instagram, May 30th Alliance on Facebook, May 30th Alliance on YouTube. We had some issues with the May 30th Alliance laptop, but we got those situated and fixed up. So we're going to get those a lot of more videos uploaded to the YouTube coming up here in these next couple days. The first city market is going to be on May 21st. Please be outside. We will be outside. Rain, hail, sleet, or snow. We will be there. Same thing, May 30th, 2021 at Haskell Park, 3:00 p.m. It is a Sunday. We will be gathering to remember May 30th, 2020. We will march. So please come out. Please bring people. If you see, we have a podcast series. It's a podcast network. We got the first series out, which is the social construct of Leslie. So please go. We got 2 episodes out from that series. We will have more series from the May 30th Alliance coming soon. But please go listen to those 2 episodes and share those. Anybody who is willing to donate, we've been sending messages out. We're going to continue to send messages out. Please donate. We're trying to get things prepared for the spring and for the summer. So PayPal, May 30th Alliance at protonmail.com. Oh, hold on. And the SRT. PayPal, May 30th Alliance at protonmail.com. Venmo, May 30th Alliance at protonmail.com. If you do Cash App symbol, May 30th Alliance, or is that the dollar symbol? Okay, $, May 30th Alliance. Again, that is $, May 30th Alliance. Please share that. Thank you for everybody who took time out to watch this. Thank you for everybody who's take time out to continue to support. We're going to continue to struggle in this city, and I said it once and I'll say it again. Justice for Faustin Guaitigo, justice for Jose Gonzalez Jr., justice for all victims of police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice. We outside.